Today, we finished our High Sustainable World 3 days pre-summit for all sustainability companies in sustainability market. And our last talk, last but not least, will be from Anveshika Singh, the Indian speaker.
Hi all, thank you so much for inviting me here. It's an honor to be speaking today. The Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs, also known as Global Goals, were adopted by the United Nations in 2015 as a universal call to action to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that by 2030 all people enjoy peace and prosperity. To protect our planet, make societies more inclusive, make our economy more sustainable, and address social inequalities, the SDGs call for sweeping changes. The 17 SDGs are integrated. They recognize that action in one area will affect outcomes in others, and that development must balance social, economic, and environmental sustainability. Water and sanitation are at the core of sustainable development, and the range of services they provide underpin poverty reduction, economic growth, environmental sustainability. However, in recent decades, overexploitation, pollution, climate change have led to severe water stress in localities all across the world. Today, 2.2 billion people lack access to safely managed drinking water, and more than 4.2 billion people lack safely managed sanitation. With increasing disasters such as floods and droughts, 80% of wastewater in the world flows back into the ecosystem without being treated or reused, and 70% of the world's natural wetland extent has been lost, including a significant loss of freshwater species. The COVID 19 pandemic posed an additional problem, impairing access for billions of people to safely manage drinking water, sanitation, and hygiene services desperately needing to prevent the virus from spreading. Now more than ever, the world needs to transform the ways it manages its water resources and delivers water and sanitation services for billions of people. Urgent action is needed to overcome this global crisis as it is affecting all countries and communities across the world, socially, economically, and environmentally. Sustainable Development Goal 6, SDG 6, on water and sanitation, adopted by the United Nations member states at the 2015 UN Summit as part of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, provides the blueprint for ensuring availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all. Over the coming years, there will be the most youth in history. The Asia and the Pacific region is home to more than half of the world's youth. It would not be wise and it would be impossible to exclude young people from development. We need to seriously consider how to engage this sizable youth population, mobilize their talent, and ultimately catapult them into leadership roles. Participating in sustainable development initiatives has an extremely intriguing effect on young people's minds. Their personal growth, their sense of empowerment, capacity to interact with the more marginalized members of society. The other serious impacts are on the project outcomes and the beneficiaries. Young people have an entirely different perspective on projects and development itself. When you design programs with youth leaderships, they are therefore much less hierarchical and they're a lot more open to new ideas. Typically, they participate a lot more and they would participate in an adaptive programming. They would alter something if it's not functioning. So, I genuinely believe that meaningful work of young people in youth led groups is going to take us forward in 2030 successfully. One4Water is a young organization that started last year. Our vision is to bring sustainable development goals to life by mobilizing youth as architects of the 2030 agenda. We are building a global community of youth to learn, engage, and act on goal number 6 and to integrate action on Goal 6 across 2030 agenda to help meet all three dimensions of sustainable development. There is society, economy, and environment. Upholding human right to water and sanitation. One4Water mobilizes youth to learn, engage, and act on the sustainable developments while advancing innovation in the sustainability by providing young innovators with access to experts, trainings, and opportunities. We can recognize the enormous potential of the youth and the impact of their speed, innovation, and actions that can fast track SDG goals. Our plan is to unite the youth, industry, and society to work collaboratively with provincial and national governments, paving pathway for a sustainable world for the present and future generations. There are four main activities that we deliver: helping the youth learn, helping youth engage, acting, and providing access to resources and development courses. First, we have a strong passion for education. Youth, including students, want to help with global sustainability issues such as water, sanitation, but they're unsure of how to. They lack sufficient knowledge of the subject to engage in or take appropriate action. One4Water is a community of learning and local action that is both semi virtual and semi physical. We teach students about SDGs and develop them into advocates who will incorporate sustainability into their future employment after they graduate. Secondly, everyone at One4Water is focused on creating a future that is way more sustainable. Collaboration, in our opinion, is crucial to achieving the SDGs. The concept is to act locally while thinking globally. We interact and collaborate with other organizations and educational institutions on a global scale in order to access global expertise, and we gain from peer to peer learning. Work with the federal government, the private sector, academic institutions, and non profit organizations to address issues related to youth representation, youth education, and initiatives. We recently began working with the European Business School Luxembourg, who has offered to sponsor credit courses for participants who reach a particular One4Water defined milestone. We are also a part of eminent non-profit organizations like the London-based Climate Science Clubs. These are a few instances of powerful international alliances. We are aware that partnerships and initiatives must be tailored to the needs of the neighborhood. Through its flagship program, Guru Jal, which involves both the private sector and all of the local government administration departments, we have a strong relationship with our local district administration too. Third, we assist innovators in their effort. Young people are highly skilled and knowledgeable about the issues facing sustainable development, but they still face many obstacles in promoting their solutions, such as lack of funding, networks for mentoring, common narrative, or SDG alignment. Through a digital ecosystem of experts and resources, we assist in accelerating the growth of youth solutions by helping them to improve their pitches, obtain funding, connect with experts and mentors, and forge new partnerships to expand their SDG solutions. Lastly, with the help of our website, we try to offer a one stop virtual resource for SDGs that enables access to and exploration of published reports, thematic papers, policy briefs, and our impact reports. Numerous briefs, dashboards, infographics, and posters that present SDG data and facts in an understandable manner are also available. We host a number of events in collaboration with organizations, giving young leaders the chance to spot possibilities for any partnerships, collaborations, and solutions. We host a number of webinars with distinguished sustainable development experts from academia, business, civil society, and the public sector that covers various SDG topics. Through the initial focus group discussions, we discovered that youth in the age range of 13 to 18 were largely unaware of the SDGs, despite the fact that the majority of young people are actively tackling social issues they have identified. They haven't been able to connect those issues to the SDGs. However, young people have a strong desire to connect with other young people, especially those who are marginalized and unable to access these materials or information. Young people believe that despite the SDG's ambition being for their future, they haven't been included from the start to evaluate the impact of the work done thus far. This gap needs to be filled by localizing the SDG agendas and elevating the voices of young people who are affected by the problems of SDGs. The SDGs were established in 2015, but little has been done to localize the agendas at grassroots levels. And this is a major challenge. It has been discovered that participatory programming on the ground cannot encourage community engagement through awareness alone. As a nation, we must also evaluate whether these initiatives are reaching those who are marginalized. Since they are the thought change agents, it is time for the youth to take the reins. They will be future CEOs, leaders, and decision makers. We can teach them to make future decisions that are environmentally friendly if they learn to protect the environment now. Every young person can contribute their voices, volunteer their time, raise money, spread awareness, and take meaningful action to improve the world. The youth can increase the impact of their work in their respective communities with the help of funding from the public and private sectors, donors, and other partners, like international development organizations. The green transition movement needs to acknowledge the youth as important allies. They can participate in a variety of activities such as advocacy, activism, research, and analysis to better understand the plight of the disadvantaged groups in the society and develop an inclusive climate action plan. Multi stakeholders, collaboration, and coordinated action are necessary for a green transition. In the process of achieving global climate targets and ensuring sustainable outcomes for the society's most vulnerable groups, student communities and youth can emerge as the key change agents. I encourage youth to become involved in the advancing of the Sustainable Development Goals. It is not enough to hope for a better future now, it is time to work on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Anveshika. And I think it's very nice reflection about what One4Water does right now and will do. And I absolutely agree with the speaker in this case that the subject, how to deal with water, the subject on the case, how to save water, how to promote the values which close to correct usage of water. It's really not explored very well. And it's a great field of research. One thing which comes to my mind right now, I know the researcher. Her name is Ekaterina Markelova, and she is a researcher of water. And Anveshika, if you will need these connections, this connection or any type of connection in the future, please feel free. We will help to find the colleagues in your sector as well. And so seems like it's all, and we finish all 3 days from High Sustainable World Networking Conference. I see familiar faces here. Thank you, Veronica, to come. Hi. Thank you, Akanksha. Thank you, Sophie. Thank you, guys, everybody who come today, and who is coming for every day, just the first, the second. And right now we already have 3 active participants who will be certified, despite of speaker, of course. Speakers will get their participants certification and letters with many thanks, of course. And so we are close to finish our conference. So this conference included 9 countries like India, Kyrgyzstan, the United States, Australia, Botswana, Nigeria, and Yeah, and Mongolia as well. And seems like we have an absolutely nice geography for the first time, and we will be very happy to see you next time on May in spring 2023. Thank you very much. Recordings will be available soon. Here we go, and have a good one to everyone. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sophie. Bye.